Welcome back. This is your host, Lizzabitty. Remember, so many moons ago, Lizzabitty owned a child care facility which was geared towards children with special needs, specifically those with sensory impairments, deaf, blind. I know, I have told you guys many times, I am a chameleon. I have done many things. I have. And so in this story, I'm going to share a personal testament for me. And you will see how this story cycles back around to recent current events. When I had this child care development center is what it was called, because we were dealing with developmental areas of children with sensory impairments, okay? I have to tell you something, and I must be honest about this. Some of my biggest issues that I had with this business, although I paid my employees top dollar because of the mere fact that working with children with special needs requires a lot of additional work. And so I paid my employees for that. The surrounding child care centers, most of them would not even accept the children that I had in my center. Most of them would only accept autism children because they could bring in outside resources. And basically, what you all don't know is it's business practice. They could basically double bill parents for that, okay? And they would get incentivized with the state. This is something that most of you probably don't know. Anyway, my business, the bulk of my business was with persons that look like me. The parents that look like me gave me the most headaches. In terms of, let me give you several examples. Paying their bills on time. Always wanting a discount. Not understanding the totality of what goes inside of working with children who have special needs. So fast forward to the particular place where I had my particular business. It was being resold to someone else. The owners of the structure saw how my business was growing and basically wanted to triple my rent. Of course, I could not make a minimal profit as well as to keep my employees and maintain state standards. So I was forced to what? I was forced to shut down. Even though the type of child care development center that I had was very unique in the location that it was, because no one was doing what I was doing. No one was doing that. Even my state assessor, when they come in, they assess you. We never had any infractions. Said, you know, you have a niche market. Of course I do. Of course I do. So fast forward to recent events, okay? I'm going to say the name of the business, Kids Are Kids. And the video that showed them serving white children their food before black children. I'm going to ask you a question. As a black parent, why was your child in that particular child care center? Little historic fact. After all of the quote-unquote chattel slavery was alleged to be abolished, most black women, since they'd already been taking care of the master's children, they were experts in the field of child care. So your first child care providers were black women. So those are the businesses that they started first to help out others who were actually entering the workforce in different arenas. It was black women that were doing that. Okay? As we move into the 1930s, fair labor standards with the behest of the U.S. government excluded childcare as well as another multitude of industries from those standards so that they could not receive aid from the government, in the sense that if their businesses were to suffer. That was not by design. As I have told you all, you need to read Roth Rosenstein's book, The Color of Money, and it shows the complicity of the United States government to lock out Black people in every industry known at the time, dating back to the early 1900s, so that we can never prosper. Dr. Claude Anderson has mentioned this in his books as well. Let me continue on. So since Black women were the pioneers of childcare, and we became, very inventive in terms of how we would deal with children who were the product of working parents, a lot of Black women had great business models for child development, child care centers. But as you ushered in corporate types of child care centers, a lot of them were lost in the wayside as Black Americans became more, let's use the word, educated, and wanted to move out into the suburbs, etc. So there's always been a need for childcare, always. And we as melanated people have always been at the forefront of that. But there's something about us as a people. There's something about us. Knowing during slavery, slaves often ate the scraps of the master. So look at the metaphor here. Kids are kids, feeding white children before Black children. During the times of slavery, okay, even during sharecropping times, the white masters ate before the slaves, and the slaves were given the scraps. I have said on my channel many of times that you are to support your own first before you seek out others. That is how we survive as a people in terms of business structure. I am not telling you that you can't do business with others. I have never said that. What I have said is, I will repeat again, to seek out your own first. If you can't find that particular thing you're looking for, then you go elsewhere. We as a people have to circulate our money. It is very important that we do that. And when we don't, lots of things occur. I remember numerous times that she's like my sister. She used to work for this company. I'm not going to say their name because they're not involved in the mess that's going on right now. But numerous times she would say to me the injustices that would be going on with the white children versus the Black children. Of course, her being Black and going to HBCU at the time, because she used to work there part-time, when she would see it, she would always call them on their mess. Sure, she could have easily lost her job. By losing her job, they knew that put them at risk of her blowing the whistle on some of the practices that they were doing, because she would have told. I know her. She would have told. What I'm saying to you is this. I understand, due to the 2020 panorama, that child care industry has been decimated in ways that we could have never imagined, especially due to the fact that parents have lost jobs, okay? A lot of the child care centers have closed. But when some of these businesses decided to reopen, okay, the first place you should not have ran to was ones that were not owned by us. you should have been running to the ones that were owned by people that look like me, to help them remain solvent, to keep business going within that community. Okay? So I recognize people say, well, oh, Lizzabitty, you come on here, you're not offering solutions. I have given you solutions. Some of you all don't want to accept them. Even Mr. Go Black to Africa has given you all solutions. But see, sometimes the solutions that are given, you all do not want them. You want a different solution that can basically affect only you and not the totality of us as a whole. Now, me personally watching the video, and it ignited something in me as a person who is a child advocate, okay? And being a child advocate comes with a lot of responsibility, as well as you can find yourself with inner turmoil when you're trying to help children of all walks of life, okay? And so this situation showed me something, again, that is a detriment to our own communities. We as business owners not only have to be creative, I'm talking about Black business owners, be creative to get our own to come and patronize us, okay? And then when we see strife in the streets that is against us, we're always talking about, well, you need to send your money to the Black business. Well, that should have been a no-brainer before the injustice ever occurred. But no one wants to hear that. Some of us, not all, and you're not going to like this, you all are so ingrained with wanting acceptance from people who do not look like you, you are willing to do that at the detriment of your own children. Many times I have said personally, I hold you parents at a higher standard than I hold anyone else. And that is a known fact, even in my personal life. People that know me would tell you that. I don't like to hear all of these extra excuses that you folk like to put out, because you are the creators of life. And if you are the creators of life, there comes a responsibility in that. I hold you accountable for that. Okay? So knowing that, I hold you accountable for the life you brought into the universe. You have to bear some responsibility for the decisions that you make. Now, I am not going to tell you today that all Black businesses are 100% on the up and up. I've also said that if I do business with you, regardless of whatever color you are, and you do something untoward or egregious to me, I no longer do business with you. I don't care what color you are. That's just it. So you should treat Black businesses the same. But you all don't do that. What you all will do is to go out and lambaste the Black-owned businesses for not being up to snuff with white businesses, knowing that a lot of them have a lot more capital than we do, and they can do certain things that we cannot do. You all do that. I've never discussed in my business being a child development center owner. I've never come over here and said that. But I am today, because this situation with these Black children, it touches me. When I owned my business, I had a standard that was so high that I would let my employees know, this business will never receive an infraction from the state, ever. We are going to be the epitome of perfection. And we never had any infractions. But yet, a lot of the white-owned places that were in the area, they had all kind of egregious infractions by the state. But y'all kept putting y'all kids in there. See that? You all kept putting your children in there. Even though my center was geared toward children with special needs, I had regular children in the center. But our specialty was to work with children with exceptionalities. That's a niche market. Yes. But you all were still taking your children over there to these places where, the kids look at them, they talk about their hair. You smell some funny way because maybe their parents use shea butter. I have all kinds of stories as it pertains to white-owned daycare/childcare centers with the black parents who continuously kept their kids there. One, a lot of these places have what you call prestige. And if I am a lawyer, my child can't be at your place, Lizzabitty, because people are going to think my child maybe has exceptionalities too. So what if they do? Instead of being concerned about the outward appearance, remember in the last video I said you need to prioritize your needs over your wants. That is the second solution that I'm giving you today. That's the second one. So first is to seek out places that cater to people like us for things that you need. That's the first solution. The second one is prioritize your needs over your wants. This is a no-brainer so that our children do not have to be faced with consistent injustices. Because you parents are at fault. You are at fault. I know this is not what you want to hear because Lizzabitty is never on the status quo. And black women are the pioneers for childcare in the United States of America. Because we were masters of the craft during chattel slavery. Even when our children need to be nursed, the woman who was lactating couldn't nurse her own baby, for first she must lactate the master's baby. We're the masters of the craft. But somewhere the line has been drawn in the sand that we are less than those others. And during the time of a 2020 panorama, you all continue to patronize those businesses that are to the detriment of your own children. And then you get angry when you see stuff like this. I'm angry, and I'm no one's parent because I'm an advocate for children. That's what strikes the chord in me. And as a black woman, if I had a child and I saw that, that would make me very angry. It would make me very angry. But it is the same with these nail salons. Black women, you keep going to these Asian nail salons. And yet there are owned nail salons by black women. But you won't patronize them. You all say their prices are too high. But yet again, you prioritize your wants over your needs. Instead of saying, okay, well, Lizzabitty's prices are higher because she doesn't have this mass amount of clientele, or her establishment is smaller, or the quality of her product, the quality of her work is better. It's not, you don't look at it that way. You don't. I implore you that when you make decisions about how you're going to move with your children, okay, do better for them. Do better for them. Show them that as a family structure, we are going to patronize us first. So they can say, dang, man, my mom, my dad always went to black-owned businesses first if they could find something. And then if they couldn't, they went elsewhere. Show that. Be that. Do that. Some of your outcomes may be different. And as I said initially, if you find that these businesses are not on the up and up and solid, you cut them off as if you would do anyone else. But we're not doing that. And you need to be doing that. It is imperative for the survival. If you all are saying that you are going to continue to be in the United States of America because you say, okay, well, I can't move my entire family onto the continent. I have given you some ways in which you can make changes to your daily life. Otherwise, the third solution is to get out. The third solution is to get out. You've got 3 solutions today. 3. It pains me to see Black children continuously being denigrated in all forms of way. Dr. Kawanza Kunjufu, I never forget this. Being a young college student and how him along with others, Black psychologists, were exposing the conspiracy to continue to put Black boys in special ed when there was nothing wrong with these boys. But again, the degradation and denigration of the Black family structure. But you folk around here playing. I'm going to always hold you all to a higher standard. You are the creators of children. Life. Why are your kids at this place? Was that the only place within a certain mile radius your child could go to? Were there no places near your job? Were there no places on the way to your job that were Black owned? Help me to understand why we continue to do things against the will of our own. Because we're consistently in peril. We're consistently in peril. And if you know the books of Dr. Kawanza Kunjufu, you know what I'm talking about. So knowing that, why are you not making changes? Why? Lizzabitty is here to give you a different approach to open up your mind, your third eye, as to what is going on. Some of you all are not going to do anything about your current situation just because. But that's on you. I'm asking you to support Black-owned businesses because Black women started childcare in the United States of America. Black women did that. So since we're the pioneers, put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is. Support Black-owned businesses. Thank you. Lizzabitty is out.